Ciao guys, and we're back at Seduce Me, Le Ultime. We're still in the beginning part, and we still have to get through this shit. All I've been doing is studying, homework, work my 2 jobs, and this. It's not as much as I want to put in, like I want to put more effort into this, but until school ends, I won't be able to. I'm trying to do bits and parts and pieces, cut out some shit that's not cool, and just do my own shit. I try.
Miss Anderson, please come to the main office immediately. Please bring your things with you.
Oh my.
Looks like our plans have been cut short. The men in white coats have finally come to get you.
Suzu, don't joke around. What if it's serious?
What if I don't care?
Fine. If something happens, just call us.
Funny enough, something did happen. And it was certainly no laughing matter. Cold. It was really cold. The rain became heavier that afternoon, accompanied by rolling thunder now and then. The skies had turned dark, though I couldn't see any of it under the black umbrella. Nothing that I was looking up. In fact, looking up was the exact opposite of what I wanted to do. I stared at the grass beneath my feet, unable to look up at the people weeping around me. All I could see was the damp grass underneath my feet. Only the monotone euphony, fuck, I don't know that word. The eugloggies that floated through my ears reminded me that I was at a funeral. It was only when the speeches ended that I finally was able to rise in my head. A small gathering of people, mostly made of relatives that I didn't even know were related to me, were huddled around a simple, small grave. For a while, all I heard was the sound of raindrops on umbrellas. If it were raining, everything would probably be in heavy silence. I looked beside me where my father was standing and holding up a large black umbrella for a small family of 3. His face was emotionless, a straight sight next to my weeping mother. I was wondering what was going through his mind. After all, etched into the smooth gray tombstone before us was his father's name. My grandfather, the one who raised me like his own daughter, had passed away that day. The ceremony was small. Only close families were allowed to come. Slowly, though, people began to leave my father, mother, and myself behind at the grave. A man dressed in a clean black suit under the uniform black umbrella of the funeral attendees walked towards us, introducing himself as grandfather's lawyer. He pulled out a few documents from his suitcase and began to read aloud its contents.
And now, I shall read Harold Anderson's last will and testament.
Only my parents and I were allowed to be present for my grandfather's will. It was under the strict request of his lawyer, and there was a reason why.
And to my dearest granddaughter, I give my estate. All the furniture and decor that resides within the house shall also be given to my granddaughter.
That should not happen to me. Fuck it. I'll do that shit to my grandkids. What? I couldn't believe my ears. I had earned the family's estate at 18. That was impossible, and yet it was written by my own grandfather's hand.
He passed the family estate to her? Why am I not surprised?
Dear.
Well, did he say anything about what will become of the CEO and chairman position of the Anderson Toys Company?
No. It is presumed that the vice chairman will succeed the position.
Even to the bitter end, he wouldn't give in. What a stubborn old man.
Shaking his head, my father turned to face my mother with a serious expression on his face.
About the estate. Should we send her there to get used to the building? It'll be a good place for her to live after high school.
Are you sure we should?
Why not? This would be a good experience for her.
Honey, what do you think?
I really wasn't sure what to say. Why did my grandfather think that I was the appropriate heir to the mansion? Was I even ready to live on my own? Especially in a big house.
Well, that seems to be it. We'll be taking our leave now. I'm sure the little heiress needs some time to adjust.
First off, bitch, you calm the fuck down. Whatever your daddy and you have ain't my shit. Now, I like my grandfather. He was cool as hell. But you have some mentality, business stuck up. Of course, I got the fucking shit. What do you think? He's my granddad. Guess what came first? His health, motherfucker, not his business. Because while I'm him, you can be in a business suit. Mom, you can live with me. Fuck, I love you. I love you.
David!
Even though she raised her voice, my dad wordlessly began walking back to the car, disinterested.
Don't mind him, honey. I think that your grandfather's passing really affected him. Why don't we get back home for now?
You can go ahead to the car, Mom. I think I need some time alone with Grandpa.
Oh, of course. Take all the time you need.
She gave me a quick hug and hurried after my dad. I looked around the funeral ground, which was completely empty, save for the sullen-looking grave that was laid in front of me. I'm sure that if Grandpa were in charge of arranging all this, it would have been much different. It was blatantly obvious that my dad was in charge of the whole event. Who else would bury their own family the same day they passed away? Everyone knew my grandfather's love for toys, and yet the grave was a mere stone slab on the ground, void of any children's toy. My dad even bothered putting flowers. Fuck your dad up. I'm sorry. Fuck your dad up. Go get some of your grandfather's toys and put them around the fucking graveyard. Get some motherfucking flowers. Girl, why are you talking to your granddad? Like, granddad, I'll be back. Hold on. Hold the fuck on. I'll be back. Get some toys. Get some food. Because he might be hungry. You know, cook up some rice. His disdain for my brother was almost pitiful. Sorry, Grandpa. I tried to force out some words, but the only thing that came out was a choke sob. You told me to stay strong, but right now, I'm the farthest from it. Like, one time, a long time ago. Ah, look at Granddaddy, Grandpa.
Oh, it's so good to see you again, sweetie.
I was swept into a giant bear hug and we both laughed as he swung me around like an airplane. It was one of my favorite things about seeing my grandfather, the way he greeted me. Unlike my father, my grandfather was loving and playful even as I grew older. Sorry that Daddy couldn't be here today. He said that he wasn't feeling too good again. It has always been like that. Dad missed every visit to Grandpa's house, citing that he was busy with work or wasn't feeling well.
Is that so? Well, that's okay. Daddy can come around next time. And you're here, right?
Hello. Yes. So what are we doing today, Grandpa? Mommy said there's a new dessert cafe open in town. Maybe we can go.
Oh, I would love to. But I've been so busy with the company these days. We're actually working on a little something. Would you like to see?
Nigga, yes. Ooh, is that a toy?
It is. I was designing a new line of them. But I feel like something's missing. You don't think you could help me out, could you?
Of course. He placed the toy in my hand with a smile, and I inspected carefully. It was beautifully crafted, and obviously a lot of work was put into it. There was one thing, though.
So, what do you think?
I think the heart on his chest should light up when you hug it. It'll be like it's alive, and it could be like a little light night before you go to sleep. He stroked his chin, considering my input while nodding his head. After a few moments of silent deliberation, he turned to me with a chuckle.
That's a great idea. I'll get to changing it right away. You're always like my little lucky charm, dear. You always know what to add to make the perfect toy.
Now you use me for your toys. I see your shit. Ha! I hope I can be like you one day, Grandpa.
You want to make toys as well?
Well, making people happy is the best feeling in the world. I don't know if I can make toys when I grow up, though.
Don't worry too much about it. You have plenty of time to decide. Besides, you should do what makes you happy as well.
That makes sense. Daddy doesn't think of it in the same way, though.
Your father. I'm sure he just wants the best for you.
I'm not sure about that.
Sweetie, look at me.
I'm looking. He bent down to look at me at eye level with a serious look on his face.
As much as your father may say something that doesn't make sense now, you must remember that he's always thinking about you. He loves you. There's no doubt about that. And you need to love him just as equally.
I do, from a distance. I don't hate Daddy. I really do love him. I don't know why he's like this, though.
Your father and I have had some difficulties with each other in the past. But it's nothing that you should be concerned about.
I heard the tidbits of this from my mother and from various other people. The only people who had stayed quiet were my father and grandfather. Both of them refrained from saying a word on the subject matter, but it was clear that whatever happened set up a wall between them. It's hard, though, trying to pretend as if nothing were wrong.
However, no matter what, you have to stay strong. You're a big girl already, and, well, there'll come a day when it seems like it's you against the world. But always remember that your family and friends will be here with you. Daddy, Mommy, your friends at school, me. We'll stand together to get through it.
How can we share of that?
Because we'll be right here and here.
Oh, you touched my heart. He pointed his finger to my head first, and then pointed at my chest.
So stay strong. Promise?
For a moment, he looked almost sad, pleading. But as quickly as it came, the expression disappeared from his face, and he was all smiles once again. Promise. Upon hearing that, Grandpa let out a great burst of laughter and stood up.
All right then. Enough of that. How about I whip up some special homemade dessert? I know it can't accompany you at that new cafe, but we sure can talk and eat while I cook and do some paperwork.
Homemade dessert, I'll race you to the kitchen.
Hey, slow down there. I'm not what I used to be.
You willed me the very home I love to see you in. Why? Why would you think I'm ready to take it, especially after this? A surge of anger bubbled within me, but I quickly swallowed. There's no use getting mad, especially when the person in question was no longer there. I'm sorry. It's hard to stay calm when you left me with so many questions, especially about what happened between you and Dad. What am I going to do talking to a grave? My vision blurred and I suddenly realized I was crying. My face heated up as tears rolled down my cheeks. I'll bring you some flowers later. I miss you, Grandma. Grandpa. What happened to Grandma? I'll try my best to fulfill my promise I gave to you, even if the world might turn against me. I left the grave, wiping my tears hastily so my parents wouldn't see.
Well, it's time to head back home. I'll cook up your favorite lasagna when we get home, okay?
Thanks, Mom. However, my dad didn't speak the entire drive home. I wanted to talk to him, but after his moment at the funeral, I wasn't sure if that was a good idea.
It's about time we took off those dreary black clothes.
Gathering my courage, I decided then that it was time to talk. Dad, can I ask you something?
Go ahead.
Sarcastic bitch. Why do you want me to move to this in-state so soon?
I thought I made that rather clear. The college near your grandfather's house is well known for its business program. You are planning to major in business, yes?
No, nigga.
Right after you graduate from high school, you'll just live there and can easily commute to and from school. It's a perfect fit for you.
But it's so sudden. You just decided so quickly right after the funeral.
Don't be so sensitive. If you're like that in the real world, you'll be crushed.
I'm just saying that maybe we could talk a bit more about my future. In reply, my father rubbed his temples and slightly quietly.
After you graduate from college, you'll work at Anderson Family Toys. I have connections since I am part of the board of directors, so you will be guaranteed a spot. That is what we talked about before, yes?
But what if...
Stop mumbling!
But what if I don't want to work there?
Don't be silly. It's the family company. Our company. I'm not just going to hand it over to some incompetent vice chairman.
He came closer to me and his face softened.
Look, this is all for the best, okay? You may not know it right now, but you will appreciate it later.
For some reason, when I heard him say that, something snapped in me. I wasn't exactly sure what it was, but it made me feel so angry. Do you even care that grandfather passed away?
Of course I do.
Well, everything seems fine and dandy to you. Things couldn't be better.
Excuse me? I don't like your tone, young lady.
It's like nothing ever even happened at all. Like you just ignored the fact that he's no longer here.
Do not raise your voice at me.
Oh, what did he ever do to you to deserve this? My father, his face hardened across his arm and interrupted an angry laughter.
Ha! You sure place him upon a pedestal, like he's some kind of venerated god or something. It makes me sick.
I didn't say all that, bitch. Is that it? Are you happy seeing grandfather's dead while everyone else was grieving? Were you holding yourself back from laughing in everyone's faces? Do you feel just a bit happier seeing him lie in the graveyard? A flash of rage crossed his face and he whipped the back of his hand across my cheek.
You don't know anything! Running your mouth like somehow you know everything that went on, when you're just a little girl that doesn't know how to keep her mouth shut!
Excuse me. Bitch, do you know what this is? No.
You did not know my father! You did not know what he was capable of!
And you know, you just slapped me.
Is everything all right? What happened?
Bitch, you know what happened? He slapped me. Nothing. I'm not hungry. I think I just go upstairs.
Honey, wait!
I quickly turned and ran up the stairs to my room, slamming the door behind me. My breath came in short pants, and for a while I just leaned against the door to my bedroom, eventually sliding down to sit against it. How did things become like this? My cheeks still throbbed, and I attentively stood up and looked at the mirror to see how it looked. Hopefully it doesn't bruise. What am I saying? Tears formed in the corners of my eyes, but I blinked them back rapidly. I couldn't cry for the second time today. I had to be stronger than that.
Are you all right? Your father told me nothing happened, but you know your father.
Oh, yeah, he'll say nothing happened, and I'm fine. I just lost my appetite.
The lasagna's done, though, and I don't want you skipping any meals. Are you sure?
Yeah, don't worry about me, Mom. I'll come downstairs later to eat.
You're not telling me the whole story.
I just don't want to eat right now.
Please, dear. Tell me what's going on. I wish you would tell me why you're being like this.
I wanted to tell her. A part of me was screaming to tell her what Dad had done. At the same time, I know she couldn't fix anything. Besides, I was moving out regardless. I remained silent, letting the event remain in the past.
Well, I'll leave your food on the table if you want to eat it later.
Why don't you leave it in the oven? Why can't you put it in the refrigerator? Why has it to be on the table? What if I'm gonna wait like 5 hours later to eat it? Finally, my mom left me alone. It was strange to think that she was only a few inches away from me, only separated by a single wooden door. I really didn't know what to do. I needed something to do, anything to get my mind off what just happened. And we will continue this in the next video, because this shit is unfortunate as hell. If my dad did this, like, my dad is a tall person. If my dad did this, I need to get a chair and knock him the fuck out if I could. Like, I need to attack his ankles or his knee. You know, tall people, you gotta get after the knee, then they fall.